Show 'em what we've got, chaps.
Hello, good people of YouTube. Sealord here, and today we have a replay from Tipp playing the Ostergotland. And if you're new to this style of video, this is what I like to call a live reaction replay. I am watching this play out in front of me right now as I'm recording this audio. I'm not watching it in advance and coming back over and commentating over it, so you guys get to see my genuine reaction to whatever goes on in battle. Makes for, in my opinion, usually a more entertaining replay video rather than one where you sit down and hyperanalyze every little thing. So that's why it's like this. And you guys seem to enjoy these over the normal replay videos that I've done in the past. So Tipp is in the Ostergotland, the Tier 9 Pan-European destroyer, right before you get to the Holland. I haven't gone up this line just yet, although I have played the Smallland, and I have the Tier 8 Premium, I think it's the Oland. And I generally do like these types of destroyers. They're a nice hybrid of torpedoes and guns. They have fast torpedoes that don't have the highest alpha damage, but they have some pretty decent gun power to back that on up. And they have really good AA. However, Tipp got lucky, and I don't think there's even a hybrid ship in this game. Nope, no planes at all. So no planes and no subs. A good old-fashioned game. Even those carriers have been in the game since the start. I don't know. I just find it's funny that people say, oh, I wish carriers would be removed. Then it'd be better like back in the day. And they've always been in the game, fellas. I think you're thinking of submarines, but I don't know. So anyway, he's over here. He's on arms race, by the way, if you haven't picked that up from the buffs that are popping up on the screen. Wonderful early hit on that Baltimore. It looks like he hit him with... No, he did not hit the Baltimore. Ah! He has found a destroyer out there somewhere. I was about to say, no, the torpedoes are fast, but I don't think they got all the way to that Baltimore just yet. So he gave a random destroyer a little love tap at the beginning of the game. Now, while the Ostergotland, the Pan-European DDs do have little soft-hitting torpedoes to a DD, 6,000 damage. That's not an insignificant portion of its health. But anyway, we are on arms race, so this does mean the idea is you are meant to pick up the buffs that you see around the map. They improve the performance of you and your team's ship, and ideally the more buffs you get, the better your ships are going to perform. Then later on, at the end of that 5-minute countdown you see up there, a capture point will appear in the middle of the map that will begin to shrink in. If you do capture that point, you get a pretty hearty income of points there. But there goes the Shimakaze. There goes the Akazuki. Thanks to the Shimakaze. Too many K's and Z's in the same set of names there. So yeah, it looks like he is playing a little bit conservatively out here. He did grab he gets another hit on. Okay, I do think that one was the Baltimore just then. So he gets a hit and a flood. 2 hits pretty early on. That's pretty nice. 13,000 damage this early on. So what makes the Pan-European destroyer so great for torpedoing is mainly the speed, because torpedoes take forever to get where they're going in comparison to shells, right? So the enemy has plenty of time to change their position and move. But the faster the torpedoes are, the quicker they get to the opponent and the less of a reaction time your target has. So that's what makes these guys... Ooh, nice shot there from the Vermont, ending the Baltimore. That's what makes these guys so great if you do like torpedoing. Ah, Friesen, looks like it was the Friesen that he clipped earlier with his torpedoes. Now, the Friesen is a Pan-Euro DD, but like the other ones, she does not have torpedoes. But God help you if you get in a gunfight with a Friesen, you're going to have a bad time. Speaking of getting in a gunfight with a Friesen, Tipp goes right into it because the Friesen is stuck in smoke and will not see Tipp's Ostergotland firing. Remember, smoke screens work both ways. So he gets quite a few free hits here in on the Friesen before the Vermont again comes in and simply removes the man from the match. So that's a pretty big pickup. The Friesen and the Kitakaze on this side of the map are done for. So that should mean that it looks like, yep, because the enemy black and the enemy Shimakaze on the other side of the map, that Tipp's team now has the DD advantage over here. That means while Tipp and his other DDs can spot for the friendly team, the enemy team's DDs, well, they're dead, so they can't. That gives his team a pretty big advantage. So it looks like Tipp is moving forward up into the fray. You got a Talon and a GK to deal with. Talon, of course, has radar. We saw him radar him earlier at the start of the match. Ooh, Shimmy does take out the friendly Harvin, so that's no good. It's like Napoli's making a push for that Benson around the corner, but he's almost dead, so Tipp holds his torpedoes. Or will he? I think he's going to hold him. I would, because, yeah, he's down to 5k health, and he's on fire, so not really worth throwing the rack of torpedoes down there when you have a full health Talon, Yami, and I think pretty full health GK to deal with. So the Yami is way out there. The GK is not spotted. Up there he is. I was about to say, GK is not a stealthy ship, right? So I was surprised he wasn't on the board, but there he is. So man, GK, don't do it. So my thing with German battleships is that German battleships have Hydra, right, in most cases, but so many times you'll see clips and snippets of German battleships just shooting full broadside of torpedoes when they should darn well know that there are torpedoes on the way. Especially because, again, they have hydroacoustic search, which will detect torpedoes in the water at an extended range if you have it running. What happens is they get pretty comfortable and they don't pay attention to the fact that they're spotted and they can't see what's spotting them, which means there's a DD nearby or a submarine, and then they just sail in a straight line and eat a full wall of torpedoes. Okay, but thankfully it looks like for that GK's case, he was at least speeding up, so the torpedoes missed. So, sit rep, not looking good for Tipp's team. The enemy team's down 2 DDs, 2 cruisers, and his team's down now 2 DDs, 2 cruisers, and a battleship, and all they have is the reload buff. The enemy team has the full healing buff going on, 1 charge of the health buff, 1 charge of the reload buff, and 1 charge of the damage buff, so not looking good at all for Tipp's team. And this Petropavlos is about to get a conga line of pain ran on him, because he's got the Talon, the GK, and the Yami all crawling up to get to him. Now, Petro's pretty tough, but like, look, it can't take on, 2 tier 10 battleships and a Talon all at the same time. Now, I have no... Ooh, nice torps from the Yugamo. I have no doubts that the man is going to sit there longer than your average tier 10 cruiser would, because Petropavlos. But he ain't going to be there for too much longer. Tipp throws some torpedoes in his direction. He's going buff hunting now because his team needs something to help. Again, the enemy team has a full charge of that healing buff going up, which is a huge pickup in this game mode. So, let's see. He's also looking at the rune right now, too. These torpedoes get to the Yami yet. Looks like they're going to just clip him there with one. Does knock out his engine. And, golly. I never realized how slow the Pan-Euro DDs were till I've sat here and watched this replay, even though I've played some of them. I'm thinking, like, why is he only going quarter speed? But the man's going full tilt. They're just that slow, apparently. So Petropavlos does take out the Talon with him. Is he going to ram and get the GK? Ah, no. Petropavlos gets taken out by the secondaries on the Yamato, which I fully expected the GK to put in that work. But, yeah, Petropavlos, he was doing what he needed to do, try and ram that GK before he went down. But unfortunately not. Ooh, Black is also getting into the cap circle, as is Tipp right now. Oh, he does land a couple more torpedoes on the rune. Very nice. So, God, they're down to 2 DDs, 2 battleships, 1 cruiser. Enemy team has 2 destroyers, 2 cruisers, 2 battleships left alive. And it looks like they're at mostly full health. That Yami's at pretty full health. That rune's at pretty full health. That Black's literally at full health. And that GK should also be pretty full as well. So Tipp's team has quite some work to do if they want to pull a victory out of this. So Tipp is... It's like he's waiting for that... Yeah, he's waiting for that small lens to come around the corner. And obviously, if you're a DD, the small lens is something you want to perish. Because if there's one class that hates a small lens more than the battleships, it's the destroyers because of the guns on this thing. Crazy 16 guns with enough DPM. Ooh, oh, is he going to thread the needle here? Looks like he might. Oh, nice timing that. But yeah, small lens, 16 guns, fast reloading rate with the Soviet ballistics and the shell arcs. Yeah, that's a DD's worst nightmare there for sure. This small lens is got a nice little hold on an island right there, to where Tipp can't just get his torpedoes to hit him. You'd have to. He's trying to get into a position, an angle where at least a couple of those torpedoes will hit that small lens on the bow. The rune's back there. Ooh, nice. Someone took away half the small lens health. Very nice. Rune's back there too as well. He managed to pick up the HP buff for his team. His team's down by over 300 points too at this moment. Alright, dump the torpedoes in the water at the small links. He's trying to bait the small links to go broadside onto him. That way his torpedoes will hit him. By the way, if there's ever a situation... Oh, hello, Oh, yes. Come on. Tell me it's going to happen. Oh, 1, 2. 2 on the Shimakaze. Very nice. Meant for the small links. Shimakaze eats 2 of them. Starts a flooding. Takes him down to 4,000 HP. You should have no problem gunning down the Shimakaze right here. And if the shells will stop going over the Shimakaze... Okay, there we go. Very, very nice. Blind fires him and gets him. Very nice right there. Always a lovely surprise when something just walks into your torpedoes. Okay. But you see the Shimakaze has those torpedoes too. And his hurts a lot more than the Ostergotland. Looks like he only got 1 rack off. The other one should have been passing by here by now. Okay. So that helps a bit with the points, but they're still down by almost double the amount of points at this point. You see what I did there? So GK and Yami are coming in from the east. You got the Rune, and you still have the small lance and the black in the center to deal with. And he's pretty much over here by himself. His team is way out in the west. So the situation of the enemy team absolutely dominating the east. The friendly team managed to survive out west. So let's see what happens here. There's a couple of set of torps at the GK and the Yami. He is completely left alone out here, and I'm not really sure you could take on a black, because the black's, it's got the Fletcher guns, and I don't know. I think from full health, he might be able to give it. Oh, no. He's got him. The black's almost dead. Black was at full health. That's the last I saw him. Nice. Gets the Rune there with those torpedoes. Gets in a gunfight with the black. There should be a dead black right here. There we go. Double strike for my man. 3 kills so far. 103,000 damage done so far. However, opening up did expose him to the GK secondaries. And now the small Linsk is still visible. He might be going undetected here if he can get the silent between himself and Tipp. But nope, he's keeping him spotted. Very good. No, Tipp spotted him because if you look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you can see his spotting damage is going up. He's about to cross 100,000 spotting damage here in a second if someone gets a couple more hits on that small Linsk. Or the GK, probably. I don't know, GK just dropped off from spotting. Throw some torpedoes out at the small Linsk. And, I mean, it's still very much on the enemy team's side at the moment. They still have 2 very full health tier 10 battleships. And the small Linsk, who apparently no one can hit, although he is about to, I think, get behind that island and be pretty well protected from battleship guns. Or is he? No, he's leaving the island. What? Okay, so he's leaving the island. That's not a very wise choice, if I do say so myself. Although he's probably seeing the torpedoes going whizzing by him, and he knows he can't really sit still because that's what Tipp wants, and he'll eat a whole rack of them if he does that. He's turning bowing because the Yugamo torps. Beautiful cross-torping going on here with the Yugamo and Tipp's Ostergotland. So see, like the small just had to turn to avoid the Yugamo torps. But now he's going to eat, I think, a full set of the Ostergotland torps. Yes, beautiful there. Dev strike for Tipp. Nicely done, sir. Nice. So that's kill number 4 and a dev strike for Tipp. So enemy team's still winning here, by the way. And you got 2 tier 10 battleships that have a full healing buff and a full HP buff going for them. And since they have more HP, that healing buff's effect is being amplified because it's a percentage of your total HP. And now, since they have more HP, that passive healing buff is healing more. And they have full damage buffs as well. So, Mr. GK over there with 121,000 HP. My God. I wish my GK had that much HP all the time. That would be a thing of beauty, if you ask me. I like how he's at like 75-80% HP, and it's more than the GK's base XP. Yami with 111,000 HP as well. Good God. This brings me back memories of when Survivability Expert was able to be selected on battleships. So it looks like Tipp's like, I don't want to go for the healing buff. I don't want to get these torps out on these battleships. Looks like this first rack is going to be very good for him here if that GK doesn't slow down. He's going to do the German battleship player thing, isn't he? He's going to eat all the Tipp's torpedoes, and I think most of the Yugamo's torpedoes too. He should have Hydra up. He wasn't really that harassed over there. Let's say he does have Hydra up. He managed to dodge most of Tipp's torpedoes, but he does eat 2 on the bow. And what about the Yugamo's torps? I think he's probably going to eat a couple of these as well. No, looks like he dodges the Yugamo torps. Alright, so they do have the A cap now, which means this GK is going to have to push in here, so is this Yami, in order to contest the cap points, because look at this, it's 10 points every tick. So in just a few ticks, the friendly team has already caught up to the enemy team's points, and now they've surpassed them. And Tipp does manage to secure the healing buff there for his team. What's Mr. GK doing over here? Okay, he is going to the cap, he's going to eat more of Tipp's torps. The answer to that is no, he doesn't manage to dodge him. So yeah, he's got to have Hydro up and running at this point. So the Thunderer is at about half health, and a GK, the secondary build, will absolutely rip Thunderer a new one. And there's a Neptune out and about. Neptune is quite squishy though, and one good salvo from the GK or the Yami could make quick work of him. So another set out for the GK. GK's now in the cap and contesting it. And the friendly team is up by 160 points at this moment. More Yugumo Torps are on the way, and the friendly team is picking up the buffs now finally. They have a full reload buff. Well, they've been having that full reload buff. They have the health buff and the regen buff, and now 2 sets of the damage buff going. And there's Combat Scout for Tipp there. He's at 126,000 damage. Ooh, this looks good. He might, I don't know if he's going to get the GK. He might get 2 on the GK and a couple more on the Yami. GK has gone undetected, so is the Yami, because they're behind the island right now. Oh man, he just missed them with that. I bet that one of those torpedoes had to bounce off of the GK's propeller. Wow. Seeing a GK disappear from 10 kilometers is it's something alright. There he is again, 8 kilometers away. That is a beautiful broadside there. It looks like Tipp is thinking about opening up with his guns, which he could do, but the GK seggers would also start tearing into him. Yugumo eats the front set of the GK's guns. Oof. And I think a salvo from Yami's guns there too. So dang. Alright. Ooh, yeah. Okay, Yugumo's down. Thunder is backed up. Thunder is coated in 32 millimeters of armor, all of which GK's secondaries can pin. But look at where Tipp's at. A beautiful position here. Just keep throwing torpedoes on the sides of these battleships. Man, this is a good spot. One hit on the Yami, it's like that Yami's going to eat the next 4 torpedoes from his next salvo. There we go. There's Confederate. It's up to 181,000 damage now. And he gets high caliber 2 on top of that. So if Tipp wasn't here, I'd say the game would be solidly in the enemy team's hands. But he's in this position just absolutely feeding torps to these battleships. And battleships can't really do much about that because all their DDs are dead and the rest of their team's dead as well. So they'd have to either choose to go bow into Tipp or choose to go bow into the Thunder and the Neptune. So they're making the decision to go bow into the Thunder and the Neptune, hoping that they'll eat less damage from Tipp than they can dish out. Now again, Thunder is not exactly a strong ship from this range, and especially once that GK gets around the corner and gets his secondaries going on him, he's not going to be around for too much longer. So the GK is about to eat a couple more salvos here. A couple more torpedoes here. Ooh, nice hit there. All 4 of those connect, and all 4 of those connect, but he's down to 6,000 HP. Tipp is now opening up on him. That Yami just popped one of Yamamoto's skills there. Ooh, this is going to be a dead Thunder here between the Yami and the GK here. The thing is, if that GK leaves the cap, that's it. The points are no longer being contested, and now the points are just going to run free, and nice! Okay, the Yami goes for the ram. There we go. 268,000 damage there from Tipp. And let's see how much base XP you got. That's got to be almost 4K. You got 1 million credits, 268,000 damage, Confederate, Dev Strike, Double Strike, Combat Scout, and High Caliber. 1 kill away from Kraken. And he got 3,900 base XP from that match. Very nicely done there, Tipp. And again, that position that he's in, that's where the DD players, or good DD players at least, are going to try to get into. So anytime you're selling in a straight line toward the enemy team, and you're thinking it's too easy, and you're thinking you're just going to clobber the crap out of the enemy team, just know there's probably a DD around like Tipp going, oh my god, this is beautiful. I'm going to make these guys eat so many of my torpedoes. Look at that. 29 torpedo hits, 54 main battery gun hits, 4 kills. Wonderful job there, Tipp. So, if you're not a DD player, I know this probably wasn't a super interesting replay, but again, you're getting the viewpoint from a torpedo ship captain. And there's a whole lot of comments that I see from players complaining about invisible torpedo boats and stuff. They're there. They're not disappearing off the map. They're you just can't see them. They are physically there, and they're trying to get angles on you, just like you're trying to get angles on the enemy team with your main battery guns. Just think like this, like how Tipp did, getting into that position where you can get the cross torps on, and just know that there's probably a DD there, or at least play like there's a DD there, because guess what? There probably is. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this replay in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 79,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday, wonderful rest of your week. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.